Media Campus West. We have a very special guest in the building. She is saving your pockets. One deal at a time. We had the Car Tips Diva in the building. She's giving you the buying power, but only to the ladies. So fellas, y'all can't watch this video. Okay, this
fellas,
is not.
You're more than welcome to watch.
Okay, so as long as you gave us permission,
yes,
we're gonna watch too. I thought I was gonna have to get a sub in here to to do the interview. You know what I mean? She was just in the back, and you and Pops was going back and forth about different things. And one of those things just being about how the car industry, buying vehicles, purchasing power has been with the men or the sellers for a long time.
Yes.
And most dealers or salespeople have been men, right?
Absolutely.
And then when women come in, sometimes they're at a disadvantage because of certain things they may not know what to look for. And sometimes we have predatory practices. Right? In the industry. Okay.
Absolutely.
But you're here to stop all that.
I am here to school all of my ladies.
Okay.
My fellas, you're more than welcome to join in as well.
Thank you.
But however, me doing this for so long, so many years, being in and out of car dealerships, I know how intimidating the process can be of buying a car for a lady. Just simply because we don't know.
Right.
So that's why we feel a lot of times that we have to bring a guy with us to the car dealerships in order to get a good deal.
Right.
And a lot of times those guys that we bring with us kind of ruin the deals for us because they don't really know what they're doing either. But because they're a guy, they feel like they're going to be taken more seriously.
I understand.
So, I mean, the knowledge that I've learned over the 20 plus years that I've been in this industry, I just want to put out there, help the ladies feel more confident when buying a car, things to look for, and things of that nature.
Hey, that sounds good to me. Let me hit the hype bell for that. So you said sometimes you'll go in there with a gentleman and he messes the deal up worse because he doesn't know. So you need to be teaching everybody.
Hey, the fellas are more than happy to come and get school, but the ladies are my priority right now.
Right. I always thought that women are pretty much better salespeople than men anyway because y'all have the power of the woman. And the men usually want to show off and spend more money when it's a woman sales person. You know what I mean? Yep. So they'd be like, oh, yeah, $30,000 for a Honda? Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, run it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And ironically, ladies make up 80% of the buying market. So they are making the decisions in that household. So instead of a lot of these guys catering to, the missus of the family, they cater to the guy because they feel like, that's the guy, he's going to make the decision. But 80% of the ladies are making that decision.
Yeah, I've heard so many times, well, just in general, when men will be out doing something, they be like, you want to buy this? Well, let me run it by my wife. Yeah. So y'all, she take her advice when she's speaking the truth right now. I definitely get it. So let's kind of get into this, and let's do a little backstory. How in the heck did you get into this? Like, what prompted you to want to become the car tip diva?
So I started my journey in the car industry over 20 plus years ago. Okay. I originally started out selling cars for a while, and then I upgraded to doing just different things in the dealership as far as like finance, F&I, sales management, things of that nature. As of right now, I do marketing events. So I do marketing for the dealerships as far as digital marketing. And I host sales events. So 20 plus years just in the same arena. What made me really want to start a YouTube page and cater to the ladies is just simply the reasons that I stated. Just so many ladies are being taken advantage of, I feel, because they're just not experienced, so they don't do their research and they don't know what to ask. So it pushed me to say, hey, you guys have the buying power, and so let's make these decisions without having to rely on a guy.
Makes plenty of sense to me. So you start these videos and you giving these tips left and right. You done everything from make sure you check your financing to it's a shortage on cars because of these chips.
Yes.
These chips. So you're in it, right?
I am in it.
So let's talk about the first few things. As a woman or anybody really walking into the car dealership, what are some things they just absolutely need to know hands down?
What you really need to know, one, starting out, is a budget. Have in mind a budget of what you want to spend on a car. Yeah. So that you'll be able to negotiate as far as your monthly payment. So that's very important. Also, do your research on that car, especially if you're looking at a particular new car. Yeah. It's okay to go out and price market at other dealerships. Okay. Also, if you have a car that you're going to be trading in or you're going to be selling to the dealership, make sure you do your research on your car. Okay. There are many places that you can go just to get an appraisal done on your car. You can just go to CarMax and say, hey, I want to sell you my car, and see what kind of numbers they give you. Or you can go online to like autotrader.com or wherever and get an approximate appraisal. So that way at least you will have an idea as far as what the dealership should be offering you for that car. So that's very important to have. Also, just do your research on your credit. Know what your credit is. I mean, I'm not talking like the Credit Karma credit. I'm talking about like actual.
So because you are on the financing side and you know where basically they're gonna pull from.
Yes.
And Credit Karma, as we've had plenty of different people up here talking about credit, and Restoration has told us that it's not always accurate. So, where is a good place to pull your credit to get an accurate credit reading?
You can actually go to each of the 3 major bureaus' websites. So you can go to Equifax.com, Experian.com, or TransUnion.com and pull all of those that information. You get it doesn't affect your credit. Yeah. And Equifax actually just announced that they are allowing you to pull your credit up to 6 times a year with no effect on your credit. Okay. So have those real numbers and those real scores when you walk into the dealership, because that's definitely going to affect your interest rate. Okay.
So what kind of score will we be looking at to have a decent interest rate? And then what is a decent interest rate when you're talking about buying?
Now, when it comes to new cars, a lot of the manufacturers will offer like some 0%, 1.9 or whatnot. But now that the market is a little different, it's not really many special interest rates right now. But I mean, if you're like at a 700, but expect something like at least a 2.9, interest rate. It's also a good idea to shop your credit union. Okay. Because a lot of times your credit union will offer you a better rate than what the dealerships can do. And now if it's on a pre-owned car and you're looking at a 700 Beacon, I mean, you could probably expect about 6 or 7% maybe. Okay. Just depending on the lender, but. Got you. So on a pre-owned used car, right, they give you a little bit higher interest rate because they look at it like it's not new. Exactly. Okay. Exactly. Gotcha. Because they feel like the car is more apt to have issues as far as breaking down, and then if it breaks down, then you're not going to want to pay for it.
Might not be under warranty or something like that.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
That's the only thing I've kind of seen besides that it has the new car smell, right? Yeah. That's the only thing I've kind of seen. The difference between a new car and a used car is the warranty, because new cars, as soon as you pull out the lot, you lose value.
Exactly. I mean, it's a depreciation, asset. So a lot of times when people will ask my opinion about a car, I'm like, well, have you looked at the pre-owned one that maybe is like a year less, in years, because regardless if it's a new or a pre-owned car, it's still going to depreciate. Yeah. So why not just take advantage of the cost that's going to be lower on a pre-owned car than spending $10,000-$15,000 extra on a new car.
Look at us getting these free tips from the Car Tip Diva. Get you a used car, stop shopping new just to shop new.
Right, exactly.
All right, so let's say somebody's going into a lot. What are some things that you will look at when you're trying to decide whether you want to buy or you want to lease?
So when it comes to buying and leasing, the market has changed so much because of the whole chip shortage. Yeah. So the dealerships are not getting as many new car inventory as they had in the past. So it was a huge incentive to lease your car, because when you lease your car, you're only paying for that part of the lease that you're part of the car that you're leasing.
And then they get the car back.
Exactly.
So they have more inventory.
So you have these options of leasing. At the end of your lease term, you can either turn the car back in and walk away, or you can buy the car out, or you can release another car. Gotcha. But now, but the market has changed so much, the appreciation value of those cars, it's really not a huge difference between leasing and financing right now. Okay. I mean, you're gonna pay less if you lease, just simply because you're not paying for the entire car. Yeah. But the way the market is set up right now, leasing and financing, it's not a huge difference. I mean, if you're someone that only drives like right down the street to work and you don't really go out a lot and you don't use a lot of your mileage, then leasing is probably a good idea for you. Okay. But if you're someone, especially if you live in a city like Atlanta, and we know that nothing is close
Everything
together.
is the highway.
Exactly. Right. So leasing is probably not the best idea for you, because simply if you go over those mileage, you're really going to pay. Gotcha. And it's not cheap.
I got you. Makes plenty of sense to me. So leasing is almost like a glorified rental. Exactly. And then you run those miles up, you're going to pay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I got you. I appreciate that. So we kind of rolling on in, no pun intended, rolling on into this dealership, right? Yeah. And now we know when we go in there, we're going to, we know whether we're going to be leasing or buying. We know also we're shopping within a budget.
Yes.
Right. We're going to pick that budget.
Yes.
So how do we know whether or not we bringing us a down payment, or we're going to trade in the car, or should we be trying to sell our car privately and then use that money for a down payment?
Right now, dealerships are paying a lot more money for your cars because they need the inventory. So with this shortage, you'll see that your car that you may have gotten appraised a few months ago or a year ago, they only gave you X amount of money, but they may give you maybe a couple of $1,000s more now, just simply because they're in such desperate need of inventory. Okay. But of course, privately selling your car is also a good option because a lot of times people don't know what their value is in their car, and people will overpay, you know, and people will overcharge. So that's also a good option as well. Now, as far as down payment is concerned, I always advise people to at least pay your taxes. You don't want to finance your taxes. Okay. So that's about, you know, a couple of grand, maybe $2,500. Yeah. Get that taken care of. You don't want your interest rate paying on the taxes. So, you know, go ahead and put that down payment on. And then as far as whether you should trade, is it better to trade? Give it, you know, you have the opportunity to have both options. So if you're thinking about trading or not sure, let's see what the numbers look like without your trade-in and the numbers look like with your trade-in. So you have the options to do both. Makes
sense to me. I hope y'all listening and taking notes. I do have a question because, like you said earlier, there's a chip shortage, right? And so there's less cars being manufactured. So we're trying to recycle cars. But I'm a conspiracy theorist right now, right? Do you think that's because of the EV, the birth of EV? So now we got these electric cars, and that may be the new future of cars. So you think they're probably not making as many so we can have more electric cars being pushed?
You know, that has been a topic that has come up through some of my dealers. That as well as the manufacturers not having to put out rebates and the manufacturers not having to put out special interest rates. Gotcha. They see that without those things, they're keeping money in their pocket, but yet the dealerships are still selling cars. Okay. So there's a whole big conspiracy as far as the EVs. Maybe that's part of it, but I think more so people are looking at the manufacturers thinking, okay, what's really going on, right? You know, because now these manufacturers are realizing, hey, I don't have to pay these dealerships, you know, all of this rebate money, and they're still going to sell the same amount of cars. Wow. And the dealerships can't refuse the cars, so they still have to put these cars in their inventory even if they can't drive them. So, you know, they still have to pay for these cars, and the dealership doesn't have to really give them any rebates or anything.
Wow, that's crazy. So how does a rebate work? Because I know we'll see a commercial and it'll be like, oh, $2,500 rebate or $500 rebate cash at closing or something like that. How does that actually work, though?
That is just a number that the manufacturer is taking off of the MSRP. Okay. Of the car. Okay. So if the manufacturer is saying, okay, it's $2,500 rebate, that means they're going to take $2,500 off of the price of that car.
So the car is $20,000. They say, okay, we're going to make this $17,500 because we're taking $2,500 off at the time of sale. Right. I got you. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. They can just make that number. They can pull that number out anywhere.
I mean,
let me overprice it $2,000. Hey, you get $2,000 off.
You know, it's so funny because when we do. I was just having this conversation. A friend of mine called me and said that she was at the dealership and she wanted to get $8,000 for her trade-in. Right. I'm sorry, she wanted $10,000 for her trade-in. And so, you know, the salesperson comes back and goes, congratulations, great news. We're giving you $8,000 for your trade-in. And she's like, no. I want $10,000. That is my offer to you guys. So, of course, he goes and does his dance. That's what he do. Goes back to the sales office. He comes back out and says, congratulations. We're going to give you $10,000 for your trade-in now, right?
Right. Where did $2,000 come from?
To look at the selling price. And so they changed the selling price of that car. Wow. So they upped the selling price $2,000 to make it seem as if they're giving her the $2,000, but really the original selling price that he came out with on the first pencil had changed. Right. So they really didn't give her $10,000 for that car. They just upped the selling price and just gave her the $2,000.
Flipped the numbers.
You gotta, you know, it's pretty slick. You know, you gotta be cautious.
You gotta watch it. That's why you gotta watch her YouTube channel over here, Car Tip Diva. You know what I mean? So you can see this type of stuff. Wow. I know you've gotten a million testimonials from people just saying, oh, you saved me. You got me in this car or this or that, just listening to your tips. Yeah. How does that feel when you get those?
It feels awesome because one of my main goals is to assist people, ladies. I'll say everyone.
See, and she's not right, fellas. She doesn't want us to win.
But fellas too, because it's one of the biggest buying decisions you're going to make in your life, right? Other than your home. Right. So this is not something, you know, an easy feat. So it makes me really satisfied to know that I've assisted in this process, and the person is happy about it, you know, because the worst thing you want to do is go home and have buyer's remorse.
Yeah. Especially you're supposed to enjoy your car. This should be something you get in, you feel good about, your payments are right. Like, you don't want to feel used.
Exactly. You drive around in this car that you hate, you know, and you got these payments that you hate, but yet, you know, you just ran into a great salesperson.
Right. Now you just stressed out every trip. You straight taking the kids to McDonald's. No, you can't get cheese on it because I'm stressed out.
Like,
right.
Why did I do that? Yeah.
All right, let's talk about warranties and then those aftermarket, so like used car warranties. Do you recommend those places like to Fix My Car and stuff like that?
It just kind of all depends on what the value is. A lot of the dealerships will offer their own in-house warranty. Let's just say like ABC Motors warranty. And this will probably include something like a key replacement, something for your dents and dings if the car is ever injured, or interior cleaning, things of that nature. And they'll sell those packages, for about $3,000 to $4,000.
Wow.
When in all actuality, the only real value is probably like the key replacements because they can be pretty expensive.
Right.
But you can get a key replacement for like $300 or $400, just depending on the model. So. I mean, if you're a person that is constantly out there dinging up your car and, you want it just immaculate all the time, then maybe, but you can still negotiate that price. I think that price is still overwhelming. Now, as far as an extended warranty, once on a new car, especially if you're buying a car like a Kia or a Hyundai or something of that nature, they already come with a 100,000-mile warranty.
Okay.
So
good to know.
It's not really a huge deal. But it's up to you, and people don't know that you can come back and buy a warranty at any point.
Okay.
So you don't have to necessarily just finance it into your deal at that time. And then when you come back, even if you come back 6 months later, you can still finance that warranty with no interest rate.
Right.
So people think that they have to come back, when they come back 6 months later, they're going to have to pay out of pocket for this warranty. And that's just simply not true. Now, you're probably going to pay more money because now you have more miles on the car.
Right.
But you can always come back and get that warranty and finance it with 0% interest rate.
Wow. Have you seen it get a better value from an outside company or inside the dealership? Or I guess it would depend on negotiation.
It would depend on negotiations. I would probably definitely negotiate with the dealer first because they're more out to kind of be more lenient because they want your business, and you're right there. So even though when you're back in the finance office and you're filling out the paperwork and he's like, okay, I got this extended warranty, this is the price, you can totally negotiate that price.
Okay.
On that.
Cool.
So
Gotcha.
I would definitely try the dealerships first.
I like that. More tips from the Car Tip Diva. All right, another question in line of used cars. You go somewhere, you buy a used car, you buy a Ford, and then you need to take it to get fixed. Do you take it to an independent mechanic or should you take it to the actual Ford dealer to get service?
Well, everyone knows when you go to the delership, the price is going to be a lot higher.
Right, there we go.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to pay for those techs that they have.
Right.
But the advantage of that is now you have records. So if you ever were to sell your car, you have records showing that you got this work done and you got that work done. Of course, you know that each of the technicians there are all going to be certified, trained. So, you know, it's not like Uncle Ray in the backyard.
Right.
You know, that
you're trying to put your transmission together with dental floss. Right, I got you.
So, I mean, there's definitely advantages of going to the dealership. And then not only that, a lot of times if you buy your car from that dealership and you take it back for service, they will put like the little drive out tag on it, like the little tag that says the dealership's name. So they'll know that you are customers, and sometimes they
treat you a little better. A little better.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like, oh, you okay?
You come from family.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Now, I mean, but don't get me wrong, independent technicians are great as well, especially if you have someone that has worked in a dealership before, has been certified, now he started his own thing. Or maybe if you do have Uncle Ray that's been working on cars since he was, 14
well,
years
Uncle
old.
Ray gonna say everything's the alternator. We sick of
the
Uncle Ray. Uncle Ray, the car didn't stop. I think it's the brakes. No, it's the alternator, nephew. It ain't the alternator this time, Uncle Ray. It don't have no wheels on it.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Like, I'm completely stripped of the wheels.
I got you. Yeah. So you saying the certified technicians, and sometimes, you might just go in there and buy the little plate frame and make them think you bought it from there so they treat you right.
They will treat you right. But trust and believe, though, if you did buy it from there, they will have that information in their system.
I got you. Okay, makes plenty of sense to me. All right, so let's get into something we like to call the Fast 5 questions, okay? Because we got just some things we need to know.
Okay.
So you walk into this dealership, right? The number one thing that every woman should know when she's walking into a new car dealership.
The number one thing that a woman should know when she's walking into a car dealership is that everything is negotiable.
I mean, hit the high bell for that. It's just like dating. Everything's negotiable.
Everything is. And never ever tell them that you don't know. Never use the words. If they say, hey, you know, how much do you want to spend a month? I don't know. Never give them that
Have that number ready. $350 or less.
Exactly. And sometimes you don't want to give them that number. Just tell them I haven't decided yet or something of that nature. Because what if you tell them my budget is $450 a month, right?
And they get you all the way up to the
They get you to $450 when they could have gotten you at $425.
Right. I'm not spending more than $200 a month. Just tell them that, see what they say.
Exactly.
Right, I got you. Okay, that's really good information. All right, so what have been some of the better dealerships to deal with in your opinion, just from your journeys?
Toyota dealerships are always great.
Okay.
Just simply because the thing I like about Toyotas is they don't really ever offer any type of rebates or special incentives because they price their cars very reasonable.
Okay.
So and they're very lenient when it comes to financing as well. And of course the cars are very reliable.
Yeah.
Now, another company is Kia and Hyundai.
Okay.
They're very, very good manufacturers simply because they back their cars with that 100,000-mile warranty.
I like that. And the new
huge.
Kias look nice too. They look like little Benzes. I was like, what's that? I pulled up on one the other day. I was like, oh, this is a cool little Benz right here. And I was like, oh, that's a Kia.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it. Yeah.
Exactly. So they've really stepped their games up. And as far as financing is concerned, they're pretty lenient, you know, as well. So Toyota, Kia, Hyundai is of course always gonna be my top. Honda is always gonna be pretty much the same like Toyota. Yeah. Middle ground as far as no incentives, no special rebates, things of that nature. Now, if you want to go like more of American, like Chrysler. Yeah. Chrysler has always kind of been like the #1 manufacturer as far as financing. Okay. If you have credit issues. Okay. Okay. They are more lenient to finance you if you are 500. Okay. As opposed to the Toyota dealership. So, you know, that's something to always to consider as well. They're very huge supporters of minority businesses as well.
Oh, cool. What do you look out for at a buy here, pay here place? I see the face. We know about to get some info now.
No, the thing is, with buy here, pay here, you just have to be very careful and very selective. Okay. Now, when we talk about, you know, the used car guy stereotype, with, you know, that's pretty much what I think about when I think of buy here, pay here. But there are some pretty reputable ones out there, though. Okay. The main thing I would look for to buy here, pay here is that they are reporting to the credit bureaus. Because a lot of times you will find that you're making this car payment every month thinking it's affecting your credit, it's helping you rebuild your credit, and they're not reported. And they'll tell you, oh, we report once your loan is done. So we'll report that you paid this car off for $14,000. Right. And that could take you years to do that. Right. You know, so be certain that you ask the question, make sure that they are reporting to the credit bureaus. Make certain that you test drive every car, but especially at a buy here, pay here, just simply because they are less likely to work with you than a big box manufacturer if something goes wrong with the car. Gotcha. So, I mean, test drive everything from the air conditioning to the heating. Make sure the tires are okay.
Make sure the seats move.
Make sure the seats move, exactly.
Right.
Make sure the windshield doesn't fall off on you.
Right.
Yeah.
I always bring my mechanic with me.
When that's a great idea.
Yeah, I bring him. I just pay him a few dollars. Hey, come with me to come test drive this car, check it out, see if you hear any noises. So I recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're test driving these cars, put the windows all the way up. Turn off the radio. You know, listen out for these different sounds and these different noises that you may have missed if you got the radio blasted. Right. Because you got a new sound system.
Turn that radio off and drive that car.
Yes.
That's it. That's
exactly.
All right, cool. What was your most memorable car purchase?
My personal?
Yeah, yours.
Oh, I would say when I first got into this car industry thing, I'd been selling cars for probably about 3 weeks. And this is when the Ford Expeditions first came out.
The big bodies, the buses.
I'm like kind of aging myself here, but.
So you and Baby and Cash Money was the first ones with the Expedition, right?
Yes. But so it was the Eddie Bauer edition, of course.
Oh yeah.
And they were selling it at sticker because they were the hot new things in the market right now. There was no negotiating, and I actually worked for the dealership. So me 3 weeks in the car dealership, I'm like, I gotta have this Eddie Bauer Expedition. Right. And they're like, okay, it's X amount, give me the MSRP. And then they added on the documentation fees and blah, blah, blah. So I ended up paying probably about $18,000 more than what I could have paid, because one, I could have negotiated the fact that I'm an employee. You know, I could have negotiated some type of discount. I didn't have to pay this huge documentation fee because I'm an employee. You know, so things I didn't know, and they knew that, so they took advantage of me. And
you were working there.
I was working there.
So at what point did you come and bulldoze the place down? Right, because that's ridiculous.
It is. When I begin to understand the art of selling and negotiating, there were conversations to be had.
Oh yeah, I bet.
A couple of days vacation.
Yeah, I was still twitching when you said that. I understand that. That's wild.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, this is I worked for the dealership, so imagine what can happen if you don't have that inside scoop.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a friend, and rest in peace to her, Blossom, when she asked me to come to a dealership. She was like, something just didn't feel right. So I was like, yeah, I'll come up there. She picked me up. We rode out to the place. And she was like, this is the car and this is the price. And I was like, it's no way y'all about to charge this lady $30,000 for this Mitsubishi, right? Right. So I was like, hold on. I looked it up. I'm like, this car is worth $18,300. It's $18 on your website. You know, he was like, oh, I'm sorry. We pulled the wrong thing. I just knew it was BS.
Yes.
You know, she was like, oh, my God, thank you. So I get exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
So you're really saving people. You know, we appreciate what you're doing for the industry and helping people out. So thanks so much.
Thank
you. And y'all take that to the bank. When you get the loan from the credit union, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Name a couple credit unions you like for people.
Navy Federal, it's a great one. Of course, Delta Community.
Okay.
Credit union, it's also a great one. What is the one? It's LG.
Oh yeah, LG. I always think about the TVs when I see it. Right. Yeah.
That one is a great one. You know, or even sometimes just your own bank.
Okay.
You know,
gotcha.
Especially if you've been banking there for a long time and you have a rapport. with the bankers or whatnot. You know.
Yep. Shout out to USAA and Wings. Y'all check out Wings. Wings is dope.
Yeah.
Yep. Wings is dope.
That's
man. We appreciate you. Tell her where to find you at on social media and everything.
So I'm on all social media platforms at Car Tips Diva. Check me out. I try to upload videos at least a couple of times a week.
Okay.
On my YouTube, but catch me on Instagram and TikTok.
There we go. All right, y'all. Make sure that you are spreading your own information. If you had knowledge of something and you can help somebody else out, make sure that you do it, just like this young lady's doing it. And this is our Reese's Peace of Mind on Pops Knows Best for the day. Knowledge that you hold on to and don't share with others is knowledge that you shouldn't have in the first place. All right, y'all. We up out of here getting back to this mix right now. We appreciate you coming through once again.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
When y'all see me pull up in my Lambo, you're going to see she was responsible. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I'm going to be the first male that she helped to get a car right here. Reach Radio. All right, y'all. We are gone.